Marley May here for analysis and strategy. Today I'll be focusing on pit timing, tyre degradation and what the conditions mean for the teams trying to make the right calls at the right moment. Technical insight, driver form, conditions, everything underneath the racing action that tells you whether the gap you're watching is real or manufactured.
Go, go, go! Green flag and the opening lap is alive. The natural order has been challenged. Federico goes to the front. Does gaining a position like that change how this driver manages the next few laps? Leadership transferred on track. The driver is the new pace setter. Eric slots into the lead. The race revolves around them now. Better pace through that phase gives the driver on position P10.
You know, pit windows make gaps deceptive. A car 20 seconds back can be strategically ahead if the stop cycle favours them.
Is patience still the right play for the car behind? They were alone in that section for the full out and back. No traffic, no overtaking concerns, just the circuit and the clock. The conditions were right for that lap to happen. The undercut gives Hay on position P17 on the road.
Through every phase of this race, that recovery has been one of the consistent subplots. Not flashy, just relentlessly faster than the cars in the past. This is where endurance judgment shows winning one corner is less important than keeping the tyre healthy enough to win the next 5. And the geometry was obvious if you watched the exit 2 corners before. That's where the pass was built.
The gaps through the field are stable. Everyone managing their tyres. One more for Zach on position P12.
Yeah, you can feel that coming. The setup was already done. This was just the delivery.
The driver picks one off and moves into position. P12.
Yeah, and that is a position gained without abusing the tyre. Clean, measured, and exactly what the engineer wants to see. That part of the circuit usually punishes overdriving. How settled was the car?
How does a gap this tight change the way both drivers approach the next braking zone? How can strategy attack a gap that pace cannot close? Up through the order goes. Max, on position. Pista, confirmed.
Right, and you could read it in the sector times. Every run out of the final corner was a rehearsal for this. And the field has to respond to that benchmark now. A lap like that on race rubber rewrites every gap conversation on the pit wall, and some of those teams will not have an answer. And if the chaser keeps arriving closer at the same point each lap, the defender eventually has to choose between position and lap time. That is the decision point. Yeah, and the leader is almost always protecting tyres first. The gap is the outcome of the target lap, not the other way around.
Is this pace sustainable, or is the car being pushed beyond its window?
The answer is in how late the braking point is. If the defending car is braking earlier than normal into the key hairpin, the pace is being managed, not driven. That is unsustainable. The breakthrough is the product of clean execution, not one spectacular moment. The car has been in place correctly lap after lap, and the result is now obvious. Right, and strategy attacks with timing. An undercut, an overcut or safety car call can close the gap faster than raw pace ever will. Yeah, and the driver behind must resist impatience. The best move is often the one you do not make until the defender has already compromised the exit.
The rubber build-up through this circuit is working in the leader's favour. The racing line is carrying real grip. We have not talked much about Peter, but they are still shaping their own race from P4.
Yeah, and gaps breathe over a stint. They open on clean laps, closing traffic, and tell you who is really in control.
margin is shrinking for the driver. The driver is coming with intent. The track at this circuit is laying rubber down in new places as the race progresses. This lead is not settled. The driver has the place. Eric has the pressure.
And there is the payoff for all of that patient work. The chaser kept asking the question until the defender ran out of clean answers.
Does the leader need to change rhythm here? The driver moves up to position. P6. Oh, that was measured work.
Right, and that is the reward for keeping the car clean when conditions made it easy to overstep. Disciplined driving earns clean overtakes. The car is out of phase with the field. That can happen through setup, compound, traffic or temperature, but it rarely solves itself quickly.
What is the chaser actually waiting for at this point? Did the defender have any real option left?
A bit of both. The defending driver was defending, but their options narrowed. When the tyre age reaches a certain point, you can still choose where to brake, just not as late as you would like. The window of defence closes.
The circuit at this circuit keeps giving. Another lap, another story within the race. Top of the order now, Eric. Quietly effective from the driver, pista.
Right, and strategy attacks with timing. An undercut, an overcut or safety car call can close the gap faster than raw pace ever will. The tyre is past its working window. A driver can adjust braking points and steering inputs, but once the compound structure fails, technique alone cannot compensate for it. Honestly, the pressure is already working. If the lead car is braking early, the pass may be seconds away, but the race has been changing for a while. Consistency like this is a strategic asset. The engineer can call the race with confidence because the driver keeps delivering the number. Yeah, and the chaser has made the leader react. That is the first win in any battle, even before the pass happens.
A spot gained without fuss. Zach is now positioned. P12. New leader on the board. The driver. Is patience still the right play for the car behind?
The final sector here has a long straight and a tight hairpin on the end. That hairpin hit is exactly the geometry that benefits the car with fresher tyres. The leader knows that.
Is the gap at the front where you would expect it to be at this stage?
Right, and this is where endurance judgment shows winning one corner is less important than keeping the tyre healthy enough to win the next 5.
Lap after lap of pressure, and finally, Max gets position, P4. Overcut works perfectly. Simone emerges in position, P7.
That is the finish line on the fight we were watching. The braking zone was always going to be the moment.
Someone appears to have lost it in the pack.
And the team will be watching steering traces and tyre pressures right now. They need to know whether the car is still straight. Yeah, and that is exactly why we kept coming back to that fight. The move was already being built before it finally appeared on screen.
A measured period in the race. The field circulates with purpose. The mirrors are getting a real workout in that car. Quietly effective from the driver, P14. How do you judge the quality of a pass like that?
Position gains and a fastest time together. The strategy called it, the driver executed it, and the car delivered it. All three deserved each other today.
What would make this battle tip suddenly? Race pace doing the talking. The driver moves into position, P14. Are we watching the move being built already?
Right, and the pressure converted into position. That was not opportunistic. That was a full sequence finally reaching its conclusion. Honestly, if the gap is stable but the defender is changing lines, the chaser is already influencing the race. control has started to move.
After laps of pressure, Eric finally takes the top spot. The lead changes for the first time in a while. The driver now leads.
A new personal best mid-race tells you the tyre is still in its operating window, and the driver found all of it in a single lap. That combination is genuinely rare.
Does the leader watch the gap or the target lap? The long game is being played out here. Points, positions, and pride.
Right, and the overtake is the visible part. The invisible part was the lap before the stop, the in lap, and the out lap, all lining up. Mid-race improvement is exceptional. The compound has not just held on, it has actually got better.